Hello, everyone. Today I will be your officially unofficial, unlicensed amateur travel agent to everything Maine. Today's video is a know before you go for planning your ultimate summer vacation along the Maine coast. Today we'll be going through 8 different towns up and down the coast with various different tourist attractions and things to do for all types of travelers. So let's start with Kittery. In summer 2024, Maine saw 7.8 million visitors, with perhaps 7 million of these visitors crossing the Piscataqua Bridge, being welcomed by the Welcome Home Maine sign. Kittery is the first town as you cross the bridge and is an excellent representation of the Maine coastal aesthetic. Settled 400 years ago in 1623, Kittery was the first incorporated town in the then province of Maine in 1647. From its historic downtown to Pepperell Cove, Kittery has preserved aspects of its history while maintaining a strong relationship with the coast. The Kittery downtown offers a taste of historic and modern, with various shops and great options for food, from Lil's Cafe to Loco Coco's Tacos, and even the Maine Juicery. After a good meal, you need to walk it off, right? Well, Fort Foster is only a 5-mile drive away from the downtown, offering sweeping views of the harbor across the river to New Hampshire and out to the sea over the historic Isle of Shoals. Relatively new in Kittery's history, Fort Foster was active in the first half of the 20th century during World War I and World War II. Personally, I find nearby Fort McCleary equally worthy of exploration. This site had an active fort as early as the 17th century, with its current status established in 1808. The existing blockhouse dates back to 1844. If history is not your cup of tea, then the Kittery outlets hugging along US Route 1 offer an array of shopping opportunities, including locally famous Kittery Trading Post with its Maine aesthetic. Our next stop is one of my former homes in Wells, Maine. It is the definition of former Governor Louis Brand's branding of Maine as vacation land. Miles of sandy beach, sprawling marsh estuaries, and a thriving tourist industry welcome you. First settled in 1641, Wells came a long way from its colonial roots, sprawling out across the marsh to the beach sandbar where in 1909 a casino was built, making Wells Beach a summer tourist hotspot ever since. By 1980, Ogunquit in the south of the town set apart and offers a quaint downtown and vibrant beach scene, known as the most LGBT-friendly location in the state. Starting your day off, you have to have breakfast at the Maine Diner in Wells. That traditional feeling of a diner dipped in a healthy helping of Maine visuals. Very affordable and delicious, according to locals. Next, head down to the marsh for a kayaking trip from Wells Harbor, winding your way through the estuary and under the Mile Road Bridge. Once your upper body gets its exercise, it needs a little bit of rest, and it's time for the lower body. How about walking through Ogunquit for a leisurely stroll along Marginal Way, an accessible paved mile-long path winding through the outcrops of Ogunquit's rocky shore from the middle of the town to the historic Perkins Cove. Ogunquit offers plenty of dining options for an end-of-a-day meal. However, to make this adventure to Wells complete, you have to experience the Bull and Claw for some local lobster located just across the street from where we started our day at the Maine Diner. Up is number 3, good old OOB. Old Orchard Beach has the longest stretch of sandy beach in the state. The beachside town offers a number of attractions in the summer months for all ages, a so-called playground in the state. Miles of flat, sprawling beach are the summer destination for many for well over a century. Crowds from all over the world and a sizable amount of French Quebecois follow the tides pouring into the beach on every sunny day possible. With such a large beach, the OOB Pier is a landmark to remember and orientate oneself to establish where on the beach you are. The pier stretches 700 feet out to sea, offering a variety of businesses and homes amid a sea of tourists. The pier used to stretch a whopping 1,825 feet out to sea and was the longest steel pier in the world when it was built in 1898. A famous casino was located at the end with a ballroom that could host up to 5,000 dancers. The casino was visited by such acts as Louis Armstrong and French Sinatra in its heyday. However, it has been moved after storms destroyed parts of the pier, leading to its shortened length today. on-land Palace Playland, built in 1902, is one of the last old-timey beachside amusement parks in New England and was home to the first carousel in the United States. In 2019, however, the Palace Playland has gotten a facelift and today hosts a roller coaster and Ferris wheel. To end your time in OOB, make sure you do it on a Thursday for the weekly fireworks show that happens from Memorial Day to Labor Day over the summer. For Maine Coast road trip this summer, you can't skip over Portland. Chances are, when you Google Maine, the first image that appears is one taken in Portland. Maine's largest city is located atop the peninsula in Casco Bay. Portland was incorporated in 1786 and is home to 70,000 residents, with the greater Portland metro being home to over 500,000 people. Portland offers numerous attractions for visitors, too many to mention in this video, so stay tuned for our Portland-specific video in the near future. Here we will go over 3 must-do things you can do while in Portland. First, you need to get your bearings. Head on downtown towards Munjoy Hill and climb atop the Portland Observatory, a lighthouse-looking structure in the middle of the city that offers 365-degree views of the city in Casco Bay. Prices run from $5 to $10 and are well worth the views. Next, let's explore the land in Portland along the Old Port. Cobblestone streets with brick buildings welcome you to a buzzing food and drink scene with numerous shopping options along the harbor. Live music is a common occurrence in the summertime. Mingle with many locals out enjoying the day. Be sure not to leave till you get a taste of some fresh seafood, of course. Finally, let's explore Portland from the sea by booking a ticket on the Casco Bay Ferry that offers excursions to a dozen or so islands out in the bay. Peaks Island is the most notable and populous of the islands, offering the chance to wander the streets and various nooks and crannies for access to viewpoints across the bay. After Portland, let's try something smaller on for size. Freeport is a slightly inland village that has become a hub for blue-collar and upper-class visitors due to its quaint nature and village charm. Settled in 1700, the area was known as Damariscotta, encompassing 4 villages, and is today known as the Damariscotta Historical District, being registered in the National Register of Historic Places in 1974. However, today the most notable attraction in Freeport is undoubtedly the L.L. Bean flagship store. In 1912, Leon Wood Bean established his store in the basement of his brother's apparel shop and sold the infamous Bean boot, typically known as a Maine hunting shoe at the time. The store became so popular that it became open 24 hours a day in 1951, and today is a worldwide $1 billion plus company. L.L. Bean flagship store has become the central anchor to the Freeport outlets and community, welcoming the town's annual 3.5 million visitors. Freeport also offers attractions beyond L.L. Bean and its downtown. Let me introduce you to the Desert of Maine, a desert only in name. This natural curiosity became a pit for windblown sand and soil after the last ice age, becoming a barren sandscape after the topsoil was eroded by bad soil management by a local farm in the 19th century and made the farm and land completely barren. The desert became a tourist attraction in 1925, of which Freeport has continued to maintain since. The desert was even home to a live camel meet and greet in its heyday. Alrighty, so now we've traveled all the way up I-95 to I-295 and are now taking the spur of US Route 1 that spits us deep into the mid-coast of Maine to the shipbuilding town of Bath. The little city draws tourists with its 19th century architecture and historic downtown on Front Street. The Bath Rennies is the perfect way to get your taste of a real Maine adventure. As you explore the town and visit the beautiful City Hall building, as noted, Bath was established and still is today a shipbuilding town, with the Bath Ironworks employing almost 7,000 people. In your visit, you may even see one of these ships being built. The Maine Maritime Museum offers a glimpse into the past with its various exhibits, all centering around Maine's maritime and shipbuilding past. However, if you're tired of the city and the indoors, it's time to explore the outdoors. Bath and the next town we will explore are located in the rivers that divide multiple peninsulas of the unique Maine mid-coast geography. Take Highway 209 south 60 miles or about 30 minutes to Popham Beach State Park and Fort Popham State Historic Site. Sprawling, more isolated stretches of sandy beach and views out into the barren rocky islands nearby offer peaceful beauty to all visitors. By following Route 209 to its end at the Popham Beach Village is historic Fort Popham, right on the edge of the shore. During the American Revolution, a small fortification existed on the current site of this current Civil War fortification. Fort Baldwin, located just a stone's throw away, offers a similar fascinating history. Heading further up the coast and 2 more bridges later, we have Damariscotta, not Damariscotta, it's Damariscotta. The town is located on the east side of the river by the same name, with the town of Newcastle located on the west. The twin villages are a great place to center yourself as you explore the local area, experience local life, history, and scenic beauty. Main Street in Damariscotta is a bustling village lined with brick buildings, shops, and dining advertised as Maine's best-kept secret. The town is the oyster capital of New England. Maine is associated as being dominated by only lobster. However, that is certainly not the case in Damariscotta. The river is home to numerous oyster farms in the community, and oyster boat tours offer visitors the ability to experience the ways of local life and showcase local pride in their occupation. On the Newcastle side of the river, tourists to the area should explore the new Frances Perkins National Monument. Known as the first woman to hold a presidential cabinet position, Frances Perkins was known as the woman behind the New Deal, championed many labor rights that Americans enjoy today, such as safety standards, Social Security, and shortened work week. Renovations are being completed in the summer of 2025 for the building's opening. On the east side of the river, follow highways 129 and 130 south through Bristol to Pemaquid Point. The lighthouse is perched at Land's End. Visitors will quickly notice the outcropping rocky shore, revealing glacial erosion of rocks and an excellent visual representation of how the entire coast of Maine was formed. Finally, continuing down US Route 1 and taking a shortcut on Route 90, we arrive in Camden, Maine. Camden is well known as a summer colony in the mid-coast and known for its community of wealthy northeasterners. Part of the historic Waldo Patent, Camden was a rendezvous point for American soldiers when the fort of Cast Iron across the wide Penobscot Bay was captured by the British in the American Revolution. Incorporated in 1791, after peace came, the place grew in population. Camden is a hub of natural Maine beauty where the sea and the hills meet. The town surrounds the harbor full of moored sailboats. Some of the most popular things to do in Camden, however, are outside the village in Camden State Park. Visitors can drive or hike Mount Batty, a tower built during the War of 1812 that offers views directly looking over Camden's village center. If you are feeling more adventurous, consider hiking all the way up Mount Maguntacook, located at 1,385 feet above the shore, and experience sprawling views over the bay and various island archipelagos. Coming back down the mountain as you make your way through the village, you can't help but notice the statue of Andre the Seal as you explore the various shops and dining experiences. Andre the Seal is a local favorite that rose to national fame when he was found as a pup by local resident Henry Goodrich in 1961. After being rehabilitated, Andre decided to stay close to Henry until his death in the neighboring town of Rockport in 1986. As always, thank you so much for watching this video to the end. Please like and subscribe, and have a groovy day.